rapper said that Lil Wayne is trash, just spitting on his legacy. Now, we ain't going for that, man. No Lil Wayne slander will be tolerated here. So without further ado, make sure you like and sub to the channel. Let's get straight to the video.
What's poppin', y'all? A rapper just got thrown into the All-Star game, and it's for making comments on my GOAT, Lil Wayne. And first, I'm gonna play you guys the clip, and this erupted. This became the biggest conversation before Vlad came and snatched that, but that's a topic for a different video that I already recorded, so that will come out, unlike different times where I said that may come out, which will probably not happen. So let me play you guys that first clip, and this is LaRussell talking about Lil Wayne after signing to Jay-Z. Keep in mind, the caption of things is very important.
I was gonna say, he looked like that dude.
He had a conviction.
I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like, I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I think that's what his argument was.
You know, like, as someone who like grew up in these communities,
Right.
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar. And
Right.
like, I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of a 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And
Right.
that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
One
what
of
I
the
was going to
greatest-
say. Tie My Hands
right?
is the only one
and
I
that,
can think of.
and that's the thing. It's like, if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is going. You're probably gonna remember me for
Right.
this. And a lot of people don't. You know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution, it's like, man.
This is not a hot take whatsoever.
Man, listen, I know it's early, but I'm going straight in for this because what are you talking about, my guy? If you're going to do that, you might as well say that the majority of these rappers' catalog is more so on the negative side of things because, you know, a lot of Jay-Z's raps talked about, you know, narcotics and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't hold that against him. He just did a good job at rapping about it. You know, he's a good wordsmith. But yeah, no, he's not exempt from that either. You know what I'm saying? None of these rappers are. Most of them talk that talk. The only people that you could really say were more so on that type of positive metaphoric vibe was your Commons, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, J. Rue the Damager, who else? Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, like them dudes. You know what I mean? So J Electronica, I mean, I can keep going. But that wasn't a hot take at all.
Like, if somebody was listening to a full podcast and they heard this take, they're like, okay, and they're just watching it. It's not a hot take whatsoever. He shows appreciation for Wayne. He's not lying. Yeah, a lot of people were bloodying up off of Lil Wayne. That's a fact. A lot of people thought he made that seem like the coolest thing ever. But this would get 3 million views, and a bunch of people start listing different songs, but this is where it starts to spin off because first, Adam22 quote tweets this, and this guy, LaRussell, he's an independent rapper from the Bay Area. So Cali rappers, Adam22 is like proficient at these guys. He's at least heard of damn near every single one that exists. And he quotes and says, "You shouldn't clown LaRussell for this lame take." Now, this is the problem. A lot of people, they replied with songs where they feel like Wayne was a rapper of depth. But this is one of the other things. Hey, yo, Wayne is my GOAT, but I'm not going to come up here and say, yeah, you know, Wayne was rapping about a lot like Lupe Fiasco or a Mos Def. Like, let's be for real here. So when somebody else says it and it just gets clipped up in a different way, suddenly he's getting a ton of hate. I don't get it. But
listen, that's not what we went to Lil Wayne for. We didn't go to Lil Wayne to get bars. That's not what it was. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I'm 36. So I was in high school from about 2004 to about 2008. Between 06, 05, 06, 07, and 2008, Lil Wayne had shit in a chokehold. Like, you just had to be there. I was in high school during, like, his mixtape, The Drought, things like that. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne was everywhere. So, and then when the Carter 3 came out, which came out on the day I graduated high school, June 6, 2008, it was over at that point. You know what I'm saying? Not over, but I say like he was up at that point. You know, that album is a classic. You know what I'm saying? The Carter 3. I haven't listened to all the rest of them. I know the 4, Carter 4, and I know there was some hits on that, but I kind of fell off the Lil Wayne hype as the 2000s progressed, like 2010 and all that. I started like moving into different sounds and stuff like that, but I'm not about to sit up here and say Lil Wayne that nigga was the shit, you know?
Let's say they named 15 songs, right? Wayne's got a big catalog. And Wayne himself was talking about like, yeah, you know, like if you want to, you know, learn how to live your life, learn that on your own. Don't listen to my raps. But Adam 22 would continue and say, you should clown him because he makes kids bop rap that is propped up by fake views and paid promo. And he continues and says, I'm not even fully hating. He seems like a smart guy, but his music is, and the idea that it is popular is a myth. Now, I don't think anybody has ever put forth the idea that LaRussell was a very, very popular artist. I think the notion around LaRussell is that this guy is very, very effective at staying independent, at monetizing the people that do like him, despite however small that number may be. Because, for example, Lefty Gunplay, right? Let's take Lefty Gunplay. This guy was on a Kendrick Lamar record that won a Grammy. He was popping. He was on he had motion, right? As like Adam 22 would call it. Well, who do you think has more money? Lefty Gunplay or LaRussell off of their music? Come on, we know the answer to that. LaRussell. So the idea that a rapper's, and Adam 22's interviewed a ton of poppin' rappers, even from LA, that are still struggling. So being popular and your music being popular does not necessarily mean that it is well monetized. And LaRussell is definitely, let me put it this way. If Adam 22 liked LaRussell, I would be in shock. Like, come on, let's be real here. Like, do you think Adam 22 liked Lupe Fiasco? Come on now. Like, Adam 22, one of his favorite rappers was Gucci Mane. And peak Gucci Mane. So we're talking about Death and Destruction. Adam 22 likes the Death and Destruction. I mean, he was a metalhead too, wasn't he? So the taste that Adam 22 has, drugs, darkness, that type of aura, it does not lead itself to, like, yo, I can't imagine Adam 22 playing Happy by Pharrell. I just can't. So, granted, it makes sense that he has this take, but if the guy has fake views, but he's got real money, how does that add up? Like Money Man, that guy's, the views are frauded. I don't know where the bread is coming from. But this guy, LaRussell, is quite transparent. So you can see like, hell, you know, I did a show. It costed me much. So this guy is really impressive. If you're saying his music sucks, he's not popular, but he's got a good business going. Continuing on. This is what really spread even more. And it was this tweet that said, damn, I ain't know this dude LaRussell was a lame B. Dissing Wayne, he did not diss Wayne at all because he only sold 35 tickets in New Orleans. Don't nobody want to hear them Sesame Street raps, boy. Get the F out of here. And then LaRussell even addresses it and says, comprehension be at an all-time low. People ain't even watched the clip, just reacting. I am a fan of Wayne. I can rap this man verses bar for bar. I'm also a grown man who can understand what's being said in the songs now in a way I couldn't when I was 17. Y'all losers for spreading propaganda. Got whole smear campaigns against me now. Y'all won't win. I'm somebody who can communicate. So this is the thing. He starts spread. This guy says that's not what he said in that clip, and he spelled clip with a K. That just goes to show you, of course he doesn't have reading comprehension.
I mean, I'll say this about the whole thing. Now, in the beginning of the video, I did say that, you know, it wasn't a hot take. It's like, dude, you already know that, like I said, Lil Wayne is not necessarily the guy you go to for some deep metaphoric stuff. Now, he's one of them rappers that he'll say, you know, a dope punchline and, you know, you'll laugh or something like that. He was kind of like he kind of reminds me of like a Redman in a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but he's not the type of rapper we would go to for like super lyrical, but you're not getting a Common or Mos Def from Lil Wayne. That's not what that was about. You know, it was the beats, his flow, his delivery. That's what, you know, made his music contagious at that time. You know what I'm saying?
But this hater post, so now the narrative starts to become that this guy, LaRussell, is hating on Wayne. You see how quickly that shifts. So LaRussell, he has a bunch of different content distribution. So he does podcasts. This guy does everything under the sun. This is a really busy guy. He makes himself really busy. So he drops and says, full context, case closed, wrap it up. The media will have you making an enemy out of the hero. Wheezy, I love you. Good day, losers. So I'm going to play you guys the clip that he put out here.
Then I found Lil Wayne. You know, one of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was like bars. I used to have a notebook, just bars.
What was your introduction to Wayne?
So there's two introductions to Wayne.
Yeah.
There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in.
Right.
And then there's an introduction when you get to like dive. And mine's, I think it was like the Drought 2. And that was like my reintroduction to like, man, dedication mixtapes, the droughts. Like I just got immersed.
No ceilings.
Man, this was pre no ceilings.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carter 1 and Carter 2 were amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're like positively talking about Lil Wayne because our last guest shit on Lil Wayne so hard.
I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that like I remember.
Right.
You know?
No.
I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, I love you because I learned how to rap to you. But when you look at the contribution, it's like, man. But he was also a kid.
Yeah,
Wayne
this
was
is
a
true.
kid.
Yeah.
He was like 14, 15 when he came
Man,
out.
a kid.
Like, you know, because think about it, he was dropped out of school at 13 years
Yes.
old. Like,
Right.
You know, you're just like,
And he was adopted by gangsters,
Yeah.
indoctrinated to a whole
Adopted
system.
by the
who-
projects. Yeah.
It was like he gave everything he could, and I love Wayne.
So that's what segued into the clip. But even then, it goes on. This one gets 65K views because, of course, it's not going to make waves like the one where they're saying that he's hating on Wayne. And this is crazy because I'm somebody that's been fair about Wayne. Like I said, I put the Carter 5 as a classic album, especially after the time that has passed. That is a classic album. A lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people have been saying Wayne sucks, Wayne sucks, Wayne sucks.
See,
Wayne
I didn't
sucks,
really
Wayne
get.
sucks.
I
For the
fell off
past,
after the Carter 3. I'm not gonna lie.
14 years. Yes. The Wayne is trash thing started. There were people when the Carter 4 came out that said this is a piece of garbage. Nothing's been good since the Carter 3. So the Wayne sucks narrative has been going on since post No Ceilings. I've lived through all of this. I was a really, really, really young buck, but I lived through this. And I remember when people were calling Rick Ross and Lil Wayne trash, but that's a different story. So people are calling everything Lil Wayne drops trash. And if you asked them like, yo, what does Lil Wayne rap about? PMW, Pussy Money Weed, they would have agreed. But it's because it's this guy saying it, suddenly, I don't even know. Suddenly they just come to the defense of Wayne, which is something that Wayne wouldn't even defend. And this reminds me of when OG Macko first blew up. This reminds me of two different instances. Russ, about the Xans thing, that Xans t-shirt, like, yo, how many drugs you got to do before you find out you're a loser, when the drug thing was the wave. And the OG Macko situation, when he was talking about and calling out people like Future for getting people hooked on pills and saying like, yo, you're not even doing the drugs. How are you going to make music about it? And people just hated on OG Macko. That was just it. And it didn't make any sense, but this is what happens. People's cognitive dissonance just goes into overdrive. They're like, wait, guy whose music we don't listen to, and we listen to his music, we don't like it. It's not for us. We don't like him. We like the other guy. Therefore, it doesn't matter what that guy says. He could say the right thing. He could say something that is balanced. We don't care. Attack him because we interpret the other guy as, you know, some guy that we think is cool. So LaRussell, he's walking down a hilly place. This got to be the Bay. Is this San Francisco? Yo, I've never... The amount of hills... It's like you're walking up 50-degree incline in San Francisco. No wonder why they don't really got that much fat people like that. Like, yo, walking around San Francisco you will not be fat. Good luck doing that. But I'm going to play you guys this clip where he calls out a bunch of these pages.
I'm finna blow the whistle on the industry real quick. And the industry is two forms of marketing that's used heavily. It's seeding and it's clipping. Whenever you see academics, say
The other dude
cheese,
breathing hard as hell,
rap,
ain't he?
bars, etc., all posting the same thing around the same time with the same narrative, that's a seeding campaign. That means someone gave them a budget and some content and a narrative to spread to the world. These two things have been monumental and beneficial to artists like myself as well, because whenever I have a viral moment, I'm able to mass distribute the moment to the world. On the flip side of that, most of these places don't have no integrity. So as long as you got the budget, you could get them to post anything and use their platform. Yesterday, probably like 20, 30 platforms across Instagram and Twitter all posted the same clip of me at the same time with the same narrative. 30 thinking the same thing, watching the same interview at the same time. None of them have ever posted anything from me. They ain't posted when I paid rent in my hood. They ain't posted when I bought our restaurants. They ain't posted when I helped these kids. They ain't posted nothing I've ever done. But randomly, they all watching this interview and decided we should post this. And the title says, LaRussell says this about Lil Wayne after signing to Jay-Z. What the f that got to do with anything? That's somebody with a budget in content in the narrative saying, hey, go run this. Want to try to tarnish what a built, but you can't. The problem is God chose me.
Now that is kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you are actively out here doing things for your community and trying to spread a good message and do good by people, and none of that gets any headlines, any headway, no coverage, only for you to say your opinion about, because it is his opinion at the end of the day. You know, we can agree to disagree with him, but for you to only put that out there for people to see, now that is fucked up. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? But yo, man, negativity. I mean, when you think about rap music, it's been doused in negativity for a very long time, since the late 80s. You know, at one point, rap used to be innocent, you know what I'm saying? And then somewhere along the lines, well before I was born, things changed, you know?
Man can't stop what God put in motion. They doing everything they can because I did everything they can't. I broke the system. I made it from my backyard. It ain't ironic that all of a sudden it's talking about LaRussell everywhere at the same time with the same narrative. It'll never work. I'm from the Bay. Break the internet. The internet don't break me. In the words of the great Dwayne Carter, real with me and I don't give a who don't. And could spin it however, but you know, my message wasn't even out of malice. I love Wayne. I wouldn't be the rapper I am today without. He inspired me to do so much. He inspired me to have bars. But he also inspired me to smoke weed, sip lean, shoot guns, all those things. And I turned out great. But that's the power of being influential. I love Wayne, y'all.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, when you are, you know, eating a certain dish, you know what I'm saying? You pick out the bullshit in it and you just eat the good parts, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this isn't to say that, like, listen, we all appreciate it, you know, Lil Wayne's earlier on mixtape music and stuff like that. Now, do I listen to a lot of it today? Not as often, because my desire for certain sounds has changed. You know, I'm more so into the underground, Larry Jones, Rock Marciano, Mock Hami, those dudes, you know what I'm saying? Benny the Butcher, you know, because they have just a certain type of sound. Currency, like, that's just where I am sonically, you know what I mean? But, you know, every now and then, you know, I'll throw on Kush, or I'll go back and listen to Don't Shoot Me Down, or what is it, Outstanding? Like, that's my joint. Outstanding is my joint. That beat, yeah. If you never listened to Outstanding by Lil Wayne, go listen to that joint. I think it's off the Cartel mixtape. One of the mixtapes, you go on livemixtapes.com, you'll see it. But, yeah.
I just want my fans to know, like, buckle up. You feel me? I'm finna take this on one. And clearly somebody got a problem with that. Somebody putting their money up to have a problem with that.
This is the problem. LaRussell can explain this. Number one, it won't reach the people that buy into this. And number two, they may even deny it. So Say Cheese responds and says, man, nobody paid us a dime. Stop crying because social media is cooking you and take it like a champ. Nobody is out to get you. Now, this can be true. So what usually happens is it can be seeded or it can be a campaign. But what I want to ask LaRussell is, who has it that who in their right mind would be spending a budget of tens of thousands of dollars, that's the least it's going to get cost to run something like this, to tear you down? What beef do you have with people? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't think anybody else can, make sense of it. Do I think a couple of people have done something? And it's odd that this is right after the Rock Nation thing and him signing to Jay-Z. Yes, I do think that's a little bit odd. And Say Cheese saying that they didn't get paid to post it does not mean that nobody got paid to post it, because it's a good post. It creates good engagement, good conversation. Lil Wayne and LaRussell, who the hell is LaRussell? That's the first thing. And people have probably just heard about him from the Jay-Z situation. So they're like, hold on, this new guy coming into town. Keep in mind, remember when Russ first did that Vlad interview and he was first getting into hip-hop media when he got signed? He had a big fan base. He was already really successful. He was getting a lot of almost unanimous love because it was just his fan base that was exposed to him, which is something that LaRussell's going through right now. And then once he got into the rap game and he started to get posted to the masses, an influx of hate came. So that's what LaRussell is having to deal with right now. But let's say a couple of pages post it, somebody on Say Cheese, Sean Khan's like, damn, this is a banger post. He's just going to throw it up. So he doesn't have to get paid to post it. But like I said earlier, I'll give you guys the answer of what I think is happening. I believe that Rock Nation is doing this, or whatever management is being run by LaRussell. So you have to balance out negative and positive. So they're looking at it where you can't create conversation about this guy's so great, this guy's so great. No. Even within pop, you got to have flops like, oh man, Arianator's flopped. Like Selena, I forgot, what were her fans? So I don't even know. But regardless, you have to have them beefing with each other. Oh, this person flopped. Oh, your person sucks. Oh no, our person's going to come back. Oh man, this album's not good. So you need a balance of hate and love. Now the problem, and this is the same playbook, if I had to guess, whoever's running the marketing for this LaRussell situation ever since he got signed is potentially the same person that ran, or the same group of people that ran Doechii. But I just think Doechii's hate got way too big. Like her hate, like it's a seesaw, right? And they're trying to balance 50% love and support, because love and support is never as loud, and then 50% hate. But the 50% hate is kind of amplified, so it always feels like a 30-70 split. But you want the fan bases, the numbers, to split down the middle. So I think they're trying to create that for LaRussell. So how many people are being exposed to LaRussell right now that have never seen him before? And how many people will check out his music and be like, you know what? This is a positive guy. This is actually a pretty cool guy. You know what? I like his music maybe. Those people aren't going to be vocal about that. So it's the negativity that's going to bring up. But what's dangerous is that LaRussell does not have a smash hit like Doechii had. Doechii had a smash hit, but people were also annoyed with not only how the hit was released, but what it remixed. And they were just by the hit in general. They were kind of like, yo, we're tired of this song. This is an annoying song. But that is an example of them balancing and creating hate, because you need to create hate. You cannot succeed without hate. You have to have it. Drake has it. J. Cole, he does have it. You guys remember double platinum with no
Not
features.
as much, though.
J. Cole becoming like the butt of the joke of everything. Kendrick Lamar, I think he's avoided it a little bit, but there's always been Kendrick Lamar doubters. And the competition is also another way to create quote unquote hate, but you just got to keep conversation going. And as long as the conversation is on this guy, it's good. And it's even better because what it does is now the fans that have been with him this whole time, they see him as this treasure that they've got to protect. So they're looking at it like, yo, these guys are misinterpreting LaRussell. They don't know what he's about. So it strengthens his fan base to have a hater base that's being cultivated as well. Because prior to him being this popular or being this spread out, if you didn't like his music, you would just scroll past it. There wasn't any incentive, engagement-wise, to talk about it. But now there is, especially when it attaches to Lil Wayne. So this is very, very entertaining and interesting to see. And it will be very, very interesting to see how he handles this coming into the rap game, because he's got an interesting approach, which I'll cover in a different video, especially with this album that he's been trying to sell like 100K copies in 30 days, and that didn't work out, so he extended it to 60 days. So we're going to talk about that in a separate video for sure. So make sure to tune in for that and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. What is your Lil Wayne song that makes you feel the most, actually? I'm gonna say for me, it's gotta be, is this even a Lil Wayne song? It was heartbreaking when I found out the reference track was when the whole thing was written by Drake. It was She Will before, but if we're just talking just Lil Wayne, it would probably be I Feel Like Dying. I feel like dying, man, I love that track. If I find a reference track for that from Drake too, that's just a goat at that point.
Yeah. I feel like dying when that definitely was a good one. Like I said, for me, it would be Outstanding. If we talking mixtape Wayne, Outstanding, I'm a Beast, and One Night Only. What's another good one? Kush is my joint. Pretty much the whole entire Carter 3 album. Yeah, so those are some of my Wayne favorites. But yeah, as far as LaRussell's concerned, with that situation, I mean, it's all subjective. Everybody's going to have their opinion about what they feel about this artist or that artist. Do I agree completely with them? Absolutely not. And that's only because I wasn't, like I said, going to Lil Wayne for bars. That's not what we were going to Lil Wayne for. If we wanted that, you knew where to go for that. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to diminish what he did. He just was good at it. You know what I'm saying? His form of rapping. You know what I'm saying? So y'all get down in the comments. Y'all let me know what was y'all's favorite Wayne track, or what is your favorite Wayne track, ever. If you have a couple of them, yeah, let me know down in the comments. I would like to know. Talk about it. If you made it this far into the video, as y'all know, I always appreciate it. When y'all watch these videos, I put a lot into them. And yeah, I'm actually about to upload a video now, so make sure you go check that out. It's your boy Robbie, and until the next video, I'm out.